Hello everyone. Welcome back to Kredict. This is 45-day Learn Blockchain Development Challenge with Kredict. And today is day 12 of this challenge. In this series we are learning about Solidity, smart contracts, blockchain and decentralized applications in general. And we have started from beginning. So if you want to join, please start from day 1 and follow along to day 45. In today's video, we are going to see what is require function, how does it work, and why to use it. So without wasting any time, let's get started. First of all, open up your browser. I'm using Google Chrome here. You can any browser. So you can see here we have this folder named blockchain tut in which we create our smart contracts. There are a lot of smart contracts we have created in previous videos, and I hope you are following along with me while following this series. So in today's video, we are going to see about require function. For this, I'm just going to create a function here. Oh, sorry, I'm just create here file, which I'm going to name it as learn require.sol. .sol is extension for Solidity file. Just close these artifacts. Okay. So here is our file. Just open this. Okay, where it is? Uh, where I've created my file. Just I think it's not here. Just create another one. Okay, it's a folder. So I want to create a file, not a folder. I'm going to say learn require.sol. Okay, so just close this. So I'm going to close this file explorer for maximum view and quickly just write the basic boilerplate of Solidity file, which includes a license and Solidity version. Identifier, I'm going to name it as unlicensed, and pragma Solidity version 0.8.20. It's pragma, not pragma. Okay. License identifier. A lot of spelling mistakes, but no worry. Let's move ahead. Contract learn require. So this is our basic boilerplate of smart contract, and today we are going to learn about require. So as its name suggests, require is a function that requires something. For example, we have conditional statements like if, else, but in that we generally check the conditions and do something else. For example, if certain conditions met, then do this, and if the certain condition doesn't met, then do this. But in case of require, we only proceed to the rest of the execution if the requirement is completely fulfilled. And this function is very useful in the scenario of blockchain because, for example, you have created a function which requires some amount to be paid. Yes, obviously in crypto or in token, but for some reason you haven't received that amount in the function. So in that case, you check the condition and revert the execution. And here we comes up with the term revert. Revert means just stop the execution where it has and reverse all the things which have still processed. For example, you have 4 lines of code and 2 lines executed successfully, but in third line there a condition that not fulfilled and required to be fulfilled, then the program will revert it to 0. For example, the both 2 lines which has been executed is also reverted and there is no state change at all. So how to use this? Let's see quickly. And generally we use this function with modifiers, but in today's video we are not going to cover modifier. We will see that in another video. So we are going to use require function directly in our functions. So I hope you know how to create a function. I'm going to function and I'm going to name it say test requirement. Yeah, test require you can say. I'm going to pass integer here, or you can say unsigned integer. I'm going to name it as num. It's a public function. And this returns, you can say nothing. This returns nothing. Okay, so we want to check here the syntax of writing require is you have to write require open and close round braces, and this function takes two positional arguments. First argument is the condition, and the second argument is the message, the string message you want to pass if conditions fails. The second argument is optional, but it's highly recommended to use to have a clear response to the error or condition which not fulfilled. For example, I want number to be greater than 0. So we can write this condition like this and comma, and here we pass the message we want to print if condition fails. Number is less, or you can say number is not more than 0. 0. Okay, so it's giving error, or we just okay. So I'm gonna write it as returns bool, and in this line I'm gonna return true. I'll make this as pure. Okay, so now here is our test require function, which takes one argument and check if the number is greater than 0 or not. If this conditions met, then it will proceed to next lines like line number 10. But if this condition fails, it prints this message and revert the execution. So you expect if number is greater than 0, then this condition will reach, or this statement will be reached. But if this condition not met, then the whole function will be reverted. So just quickly deploy this and see what it actually means. So I'm going to click on deploy, open this. So here you can say we have test require function, and just open this to have a clear. I'm just going to clear this. Okay, so this is now a clear console. You can use this button to clear the console. Here you can say clear console. So I'm going to write here. First, I'm going to write a valid number which is 8. Test require. So successfully, it has executed and returned true because the number we have passed is greater than 0. But in a condition we pass 0, which is not greater than 0. If we test require, you can see here is says the transaction has been reverted to the initial state. Reason provided by the contract, number is not more than 0. So this is the message you can see we have passed here in the second argument of function. So this is how you can use require function in general. And to test this, you can say how the function is reverted. I'm going to create a variable here. Let's say int number, which is assigned to 1. So here we pass number plus equal to 1 and make this from pure to a state changing function, which obviously now costs some gas fee. So why we have put it here? Because we want to check if this numbers change or not. So check this, just mark it as public. So we get a getter function for this. Just open this, compile your code and remove and deploy. Just open this. Okay, so just first check this, click on number, you can say it's 1 now. So we expect it to increment 1, but in case of condition failure it will also revert it to 1. So just pass here valid number first and test require, and it executed successfully. Just click on number and you can see it's 2 now. But if we pass, you can say 0, so we expect it to number plus equal to 1, but you know that it gonna fail the condition, so the function will also revert this to actual state. So click on test require, the function failed with the reason, and now if you're gonna check this number, you can see it's still 2. So with this we came to a conclusion that if any of the required statement failed in the whole function, all the previous statements will be resetted to its original state. That's why the number still remains 2 but not incremented to 3, as this condition has failed. And you can use multiple required statements in a single function. For example, I want to check here number, just make this greater than 5, and also check that number should be you can say even number. Just write number 0, number is not even. So in this function we check for two conditions, that number should be greater than 5 and should be a even number. And if you don't know what it is, I'm gonna explain you. We have, this is a modulo operator which is used to gain remainder of a division. We have divided num by 2, and this modulo operator only gives us the remainder. So this is a general thumb rule. If you divide any number and it gives 0, that means that is a even number. And if you divide any number by 2 and it does not give 0, that means it's a odd number. So we have simply checked that the result of remainder of dividing by 2 should be equal to 0, and if not, then number is not even. So just quickly redeploy this contract and check our new implementation. Open up this. Okay, so check the number, it's already 1. We have initialized it to 1, and now I'm gonna write here, you can say 6. No, I'm gonna first write 7, because 7 fulfills the first condition but not the second condition. So let's see what happens. So you can see number is not even. Due to the second condition requirement, it failed. And if you check number, it's still 1, because the whole thing is reverted. But now if you pass, you can say 3 and test require, it failed with number is not more than 0. The first condition failed this time. But if you want to pass both the conditions, you have to pass a number greater than 5, and that number should be even number. So I'm going to pass here 8 and test require, and you can see the function has executed successfully. And if you check the number, it is 2 now. So I hope you now know how the require function work, and you can pass any statement here that results in true or false. You can evaluate any statement here which belongs to this function, or even from the outer side. Generally we check this for the value sent through functions which are payable, and we can also check this, you can say, parameters. And if you don't know what is message.value or the value sent or payable, don't worry, we will cover that in future videos. Just follow along this series and you will get to know everything. So I think now it is clear to you how require function work, and I recommend you to test this function out by using multiple conditions. And yes, quickly let me show you something, that if you don't want to pass any message, but this is not recommended, you can just simply pass the condition like this, or the remove the condition here. Okay, so now go and redeploy this. Deploy. Just open up. Okay, so I'm gonna open this. The number is still 1. I'm gonna pass here, you can say 7. Now test required. Now you can see the function is failed execution, but now we don't know why the function has not worked around, because there are two conditions. Yes, if you have access to code, you can evaluate by seeing it that it is greater than 5 but not an even number. That's why the second condition failed. But now you don't have any message, so a end user or a direct contract call will not tell you why the function has been failed. It just to give a general message like the transaction has been reverted to initial state, but no message at all. Note the call function should be payable. So it's just a guess game. But you know this function is not a payable, and this is not the case why the function has failed. So that's why it's always recommended to put a proper error message here, or in general a short, you can say here less than 5 simply. If you don't want to too long message, just put enough information to declare the proper requirements of the function. Or you can say like here not even. This will also work, but it's always better to put something here reasonable without just leaving this blank. So now you know how to use revert function with or without requirement statement, or you can put any message there. This is just a string. Okay, so this is all about requirement require function in Solidity. I hope now you know how to use this. Just go open up your IDE on the remix, and always remember to follow the same domain name, which is remix.ethereum.org. I've told this thing many times because there are a lot of scams going on with the fraud or scam remix ID, which pretends to be original but that not, because there's only one official domain for them, which is remix.ethereum.org. So I hope you get this and follow along the series. You will learn a lot. So this is 12th day of Learn Blockchain Development Challenge. We will see you in next one. Till then, stay safe.